This fun story begins by showing a place in China where many people were learning martial arts very skillfully. People used to fight each other to prove who among them was the best at martial arts. In the same way, we see two warriors named Shag and Chang who were fighting each other. Both of them were on the same level when it came to martial arts, but as their fight started, it became clear that Shag had the upper hand. He beat Chang badly and even broke his spine. Shag became so ruthless that he started hurting Chang even more and tried to kill him. At that moment, Chang said, "My brother won't spare you." Chang mentioned his brother's name, Lu Kang, and warned that if his brother came there, he would kill Shag. But hearing all this only made Shag angrier. He told Chang that he wanted to fight his brother and would defeat him soon. But Shag showed no mercy, he killed Chang on the spot. Now the scene shifts to America, where we are introduced to Lu Kang, Chang's elder brother. Kang receives a letter from his grandfather, clearly stating that his younger brother had been murdered. Without delay, Kang left everything behind and returned to the Shaolin Temple. In fact, Kang had also trained at the temple earlier, but to improve his financial condition, he had gone to work in America. After returning to his grandfather, he was told how his younger brother had become a great martial artist and was preparing to participate in a major competition. But for some unknown reason, someone killed him, and his dead body was found near a riverbank. Kang was deeply saddened to hear this, and his grandfather took him to the exact place where Chang's body was found. His grandfather explained everything, how Chang had become an excellent fighter and was supposed to fight in the prestigious Shaolin Temple Championship held once a year. But sadly, the person who killed him was still unknown. Now filled with rage, Kang declared in front of his grandfather and everyone else that he would also participate in the biggest tournament of the Shaolin Temple, the same one Chang was going to fight in before his death. Kang believed that by entering the fighting tournament, he might be able to find out who his brother's killers were. That's why he passionately declared that he would go through with it no matter what. Just then, Lord Ryden entered. Everyone there considered Lord Ryden the god of thunder and treated him with utmost respect. Ryden advised Kang that if he was entering the championship only for revenge, he would lose very quickly. But Kang disagreed and said, "If you knew so much, then why didn't you save my brother's life?" Ryden replied calmly that his responsibility was only so much, Kang had even more responsibility, but he left all the training behind and went to America. "This fighting championship is not going to be as easy as you think," said Ryden. But by now, Kang was already burning with anger. Because of his brother's death, Kang now tells everyone that he doesn't need anyone's help and that he will enter the championship alone and win it by himself. That's why Kang leaves without even speaking to his grandfather and goes far away. The next day, we are shown a scene in Hong Kong, where the biggest fighting competition is about to begin. Kang also arrives at that location to participate. There, he sees many warriors who would stand against him in the competition. Among them is also an actor named Johnny, whose recent films have all flopped. He has lost all his fame and wealth because of this, and now his main goal is to win this entire tournament and regain the fame he once had. Suddenly, a strange-looking boat emerges from the water, and all the warriors who are going to participate in the tournament start boarding it. At this point, we are introduced to Blade, a secret American police officer. Blade is actually searching for a criminal named Kane, who has killed many of her fellow officers. Kane had sneaked into that very boat to hide, which is why Blade quickly gets on board and starts questioning people. While searching for Kane, she reaches the lower part of the boat, but she still doesn't find him. Meanwhile, Shag himself appears on the boat. It's revealed that Shag is actually the organizer of the entire tournament. He starts explaining the rules to all the participants, saying that they'll have to pass one level at a time, and at each stage, they will have to fight against the best warriors, those who are far stronger and more experienced than them. All the participants, showing great courage, accept the challenge. Now Shag brings out two of his most powerful warriors in front of them, Scorpion and Sub. These two warriors immediately begin to show off their powers in front of the participants. Their main intent is to intimidate the other contestants by displaying their dark abilities. But just then, Lord Ryden arrives on the boat. Using his hidden powers, he throws both of those warriors away from the scene. After this, things settle down, but Shag gets angry at Lord Ryden, saying that he is not allowed to use such magic before the tournament officially begins. It is then revealed that both those warriors, Scorpion and Sub, were not ordinary fighters but were actually created by Shag himself using dark powers. His aim was to scare the participants before the tournament began. But now, due to Lord Ryden's arrival, Shag became very nervous and went away from there. Lord Ryden then congratulates Kang, Johnny, and Blade, telling them that they have finally been chosen and will now move forward in the tournament, where they will have to face different fighters. Lord Ryden begins explaining everything to the three of them. He tells them that this is the Mortal Kombat tournament, where a ruler from another world will send his fighters to battle against them. That otherworldly ruler's goal is to take over Earth and make all humans his slaves. But to do that, he must win the Mortal Kombat tournament 10 times. Unfortunately, that ruler has already won it 9 times, and this is the final time. If he wins again, he will conquer all of humanity. Lord Ryden tells them that they must win this Mortal Kombat fight at any cost. If the ruler of Outworld wins, he will enslave the entire human race. At this point, Kong learns that it was none other than Shag who killed his younger brother. Enraged, Kong decides that no matter what, he will fight in the tournament to kill Shag. But Lord Ryden once again tries to make Kong understand that with that kind of mindset, he won't be able to survive in the tournament. He advises him to free his mind and accept that they are all one team. They have to fight not just for revenge, but to win this Mortal Kombat, which is not going to be an ordinary battle. They will have to face warriors far more dangerous and powerful than themselves. Now all 3 of them, Kong, Johnny, and Blade, get ready to participate in the tournament. The next day, we see them arriving near an island where the Mortal Kombat tournament is to be held. Warriors from all around the world start gathering at that location to fight one another and win the competition. It's a place with no communication networks or any kind of technology. Kong and his team reach the island quickly. Shag appears and makes an announcement in front of everyone that starting tomorrow, all the fights will begin, and eventually, they will have to face the most dangerous warrior of all, Goro. In the next moment, we are shown Goro, not a human, but a terrifying monster. He has 4 arms and a massive, muscular body. Shag approaches Goro and tells him that he must fight well and never underestimate his opponent. But Goro, in his arrogance, says that no one can stand against him and that he can kill them all very easily. At that location, Kano is also present, happily enjoying his food. From this, we learn that Kano actually works for Shag, and it was he who had killed one of Blade's teammates. Shag tells Kano that tomorrow, his fight will be against a woman named Blade, whose teammate he had murdered. Kano seems slightly pleased upon hearing this because he now wants to kill Blade too. The next day, as the tournament begins, the fight between Kano and Blade starts. A special fighting arena is made for them, and if either of them leaves the designated area, they will lose. As soon as the fight begins, Kano takes out a knife and says, "This is the same knife I used to kill your friend." Hearing this, Blade becomes furious and starts attacking Kano rapidly. The fight begins, and initially, Kano has the upper hand over Blade. Kano beat Blade brutally since he was physically stronger. However, even though Blade didn't have as much power, she had excellent fighting techniques, and she used them effectively to completely lock Kano down. He couldn't even catch his breath. Gasping and choking, Kano dies, which means Blade wins this round very skillfully. Meanwhile, we are shown the fight between Johnny and Scorpion. Though Johnny was an actor, everything he used in his movies was real, and he was very well trained in combat skills. However, Scorpion, apart from being a warrior, also possessed strange supernatural powers, which he used to keep attacking Johnny. At first, Johnny tries to dodge and escape Scorpion's attacks, but then he holds his own in close combat, giving Scorpion a tough fight. Scorpion begins to throw fire at Johnny, but Johnny deflects it using a shield. The shield had sharp blades attached to it, and using it, Johnny manages to get close and decapitate Scorpion. After that, Johnny leaves the place as Scorpion's body explodes. In this way, Johnny also wins his first round. On the other side, Kong was fighting a warrior named Sub, who also had powers similar to Scorpion. In fact, Sub had the ability to gather energy and turn anything into ice, and he was using this very technique against Kong. Now, Kong was just a normal human who had learned all his fighting skills through traditional methods. So he was struggling to defend against Sub's attacks. Kong gets badly injured in the fight but refuses to give up easily. Suddenly, Kidna, the daughter of the Outworld king, appears at the scene. Watching the fight, she decides to help Kong. Kidna tells him, Sub's strength is also his greatest weakness. The next time he attacks, throw water at him. Following Kidna's advice, Kong splashes some water on Sub, and mysteriously, the water instantly turns to ice, striking Sub's body at high speed like a weapon. The ice pierces him, and Sub dies. After helping Kong, Kidna disappears from the scene. When Shag found out that all 3 warriors, Kong, Johnny, and Blade, had won their first rounds, he became extremely tense. He started feeling like he was going to lose completely. Out of desperation, Shag went straight to Goro, who was now his final hope to defeat the remaining fighters. Goro, hearing all this, got very angry and declared, "I will kill them all." He immediately started preparing for his next round. The next day, Goro's battle was scheduled against a warrior named Lee, who was one of the highly skilled participants. But it was clear from the start that Goro's powers had grown immensely. As soon as the fight began, Goro started attacking Lee using all 4 of his arms. Everyone thought that Lee had solid technique and might give Goro a tough challenge. But Goro's abilities were so overwhelming that he mercilessly beat Lee to death. When Kong and his team heard about Lee's death, they were deeply confused and troubled, especially because Shag absorbed Lee's soul after killing him. It became clear that Shag was playing his own secret game, increasing his power by absorbing the souls of defeated fighters. With every loss, Shag was becoming even more powerful. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Kong and his team went to Lord Ryden to figure out how they could possibly defeat Goro. Lord Ryden explained to them that fighting Goro was not going to be easy. In addition to his demonic strength, he had multiple other supernatural powers. But just like Kong had cleverly defeated Sub by exploiting his weakness, Goro too must have a weakness, they just needed to find and target it. Ryden warned them. If Goro survives, Shag will try his best to manipulate and deceive you. Stay alert, because Shag can change the rules at any time. Then it is revealed that the next match is scheduled between Goro and Blade. Blade, however, was not ready to face such a dangerous opponent. But the tournament rules had already locked in the match, and she had no choice but to fight. Seeing Blade's situation, Johnny couldn't bear it. He went directly to Shag and requested, "Let me fight in Blade's place. I'll destroy Goro myself." Shag, thinking for a moment, said, "I'll agree, but only under one condition. If you win, I get to choose who will fight me in the next round and where the fight will happen. None of you can interfere." Without much thought, Johnny agrees to the terms and prepares to fight Goro. Now, the explosive fight between Johnny and Goro was about to begin. Johnny looked extremely confident as he stood in front of Goro. But Goro mocked him, saying, "I'll defeat you easily," and even snatched Johnny's sunglasses and broke them. As the fight started, Johnny suddenly ran far away from the battleground. No one could understand why Johnny was doing this. And Goro, furious, began to chase after him. Now, Goro begins chasing after Johnny, leaving the battlefield, furious and determined to kill him. He couldn't tolerate the insult that such a small man had dared to challenge him. But what he didn't realize was that this was all part of Johnny's plan. Johnny knew very well that he couldn't defeat Goro in direct combat. But by using his cleverness, he might be able to take him down. As Goro chases Johnny, he ends up at the edge of a cliff on a mountainside. Below lies a deep abyss, falling into it would mean certain death. Suddenly, Johnny sneaks up behind Goro and attacks him repeatedly, knocking him off balance. Goro slips and begins to fall, but uses his 4 arms to grab onto the edge of the cliff. Now, Johnny, being an actor, cracks a perfectly timed joke. Hearing it, Goro bursts into laughter, loses his grip, and falls straight into the abyss. Goro is completely destroyed. When Shag finds out about this, he immediately captures Blade and takes her to a secret location that no one could have guessed. Kong and Johnny arrive soon after, trying to stop Shag. But Shag had already made a deal earlier that he could choose any warrior and take them anywhere. Shag quickly opens a strange portal and disappears into it, taking Blade with him. Kong and Johnny have no idea where he went. Soon after, Lord Ryden arrives at the spot and informs them that Shag has taken Blade to Outworld, a hellish dimension ruled by the tyrannical king who's planning to conquer Earth. If he wins the final Mortal Kombat fight, he might just succeed. Ryden says, "I can open this portal for both of you so you can go rescue Blade. But I myself cannot enter that world." Before sending them off, Lord Ryden explains, "Shag cannot continue the tournament unless Blade accepts the challenge. That means you still have time." With that, Kong and Johnny step into the portal that leads to Outworld. Within moments, they are teleported to a devastated, hell-like dimension. The entire environment looks apocalyptic, as if ruled by demons. It is pure destruction. Kong and Johnny decide to split up to search for Blade. As Kong moves forward, he is suddenly attacked by a warrior named Snake, who serves the Outworld King. Snake launches an aggressive assault on Kong. But now, Kang's fighting skills have significantly improved. Having fought many battles, he had developed an instinct to anticipate enemy moves. Although Snake manages to injure Kong badly, Kong stays calm and waits for Snake to tire out. As soon as Kong notices that Snake is exhausted. At that moment, Kong begins attacking Snake and soon discovers the warrior's weakness. Using it to his advantage, Kong kills him. Shortly after, Kidna arrives at Kong and Johnny's location. She is the daughter of the King of Outworld, but now she reveals a shocking truth. She tells them that the current ruler of Outworld is not her real father, but a demon who took over Outworld by killing her original parents. Now, that demon seeks to conquer Earth as well. Ever since Shag started working with the King of Outworld, the destruction has only worsened. Kidna explains that their plan is to turn Earth into a second Outworld, filled with chaos and ruin. That's why, no matter what, they must win this final mortal combat. She warns them that the upcoming fights will be deadly. First, they'll have to battle undefeated warriors, fighters who've never lost. And then, they'll have to face their deepest fears. Kidna briefs Kong and Johnny on the path ahead and how to rescue Blade. Next, we are shown the Black Tower, the arena where the final fight of the tournament is set to happen. Many of Kang's supporters are entering the arena, and we see Blade tied up on the battlefield, captured by Shag. Shag tells Blade, "Accept the fight. Once I defeat you, I'll easily win the entire Mortal Kombat." But Blade refuses, saying, "I'll never accept your challenge. My friends will come to save me." Shag laughs and mocks her. "Your friends can never reach this place." But in the next moment, to his shock, Kong, Johnny, and Kidna appear before him, disguised as some of the supporters. Shag is stunned. Kong realizes that Kidna must have helped them infiltrate, and accuses her of betrayal. But Kidna responds sharply, "You're the one betraying the rules. If the Outworld King finds out you're trying to cheat your way to victory, he will punish you himself." Now realizing that they've all joined forces against him, Shag declares, "If you truly have the courage, then fight me." Shag keeps inviting Blade to fight him, but Johnny steps up and says, "I'll fight you." However, this time Kong insists on taking the fight, as he wants to avenge his brother's death. Kong confidently steps forward to face Shag. Shag, now ready for the final showdown, tells his warriors to leave the area. The epic battle between Shag and Kong begins. Kong fights with full force, not allowing Shag a single chance to strike back, driven by the rage of losing his brother. He fights with such power that Shag is severely injured and can't keep up. In desperation, Shag uses his dark powers to summon the 7 warriors whose abilities he had absorbed earlier. These 7 spectral fighters begin attacking Kong all at once. Despite the overwhelming odds, Kong battles all of them, one by one, injuring them and pushing through. Shag watches in disbelief, wondering how Kong is able to fight all of them. Because Kong had left the Shaolin training long ago, it was surprising how his fighting techniques had become so advanced after spending so many years in America. Yet, one by one, Kong defeated all 7 warriors with ease. Seeing this, Shag realized that Kong wouldn't be defeated so easily. So now, Shag used his powers to take the form of Kang's younger brother. Approaching Kong, he said emotionally, "I missed you so much." For a moment, Kong was overwhelmed with emotion and began to walk toward what appeared to be his brother. But Shag had planted sharp weapons all over the battlefield, such that if anyone fell, they'd die instantly. It looked like Kong was going to walk right into Shag's deadly trap, but Kong had complete faith in himself. Suddenly, he stopped and said, "I know you're not my brother. He's dead. You're Shag, trying to deceive me." At that moment, Shag revealed his true demonic form, and Kong resumed the fight with renewed strength. Shag shouted, "I possess the abilities of thousands of warriors. You cannot kill me like this." But Kong was unstoppable, striking Shag again and again. Finally, Kong pushed Shag from a height onto those sharp weapons, impaling him fatally. Shag's body disintegrated into a skeleton, and a burst of radiant light shot out. These were the souls of the warriors Shag had absorbed. Among those souls, Kong saw his younger brother, smiling peacefully. His brother said, "You've fulfilled my dream. And now, I'll always be with you." He then ascended toward heaven, his soul finally free. With Shag's death, the thousands of trapped souls were released, and Kong and his team had officially won the Mortal Kombat tournament. They all returned to Lord Ryden, who welcomed them with pride. The entire team reunited and prepared to celebrate their victory. But just then, a massive mountain began to crumble, and Outworld's Tyrant King emerged from within. He declared, "I will take over the entire Earth and absorb its souls to become even more powerful." But Ryden and Kang's entire team stood in his way, and said firmly, "We will fight you to our last breath. But we will not let you take a single soul." And with this intense final moment, the story comes to a close.